Kent Dueck from Inner City Youth Alive is with us, Executive Director and Founder. We talked to you about a week and a half ago due to those wildfires in Nopaming Provincial Park and threatening ICYA's camp, Gem Lake Wilderness Camp. Kent, some concerning news today. Give us the latest details.
Yeah, so it's been a real up and down kind of drama here with the camp. At the time we spoke a week and a half ago, it looked like the fear had sort of abated, and we had a little bit of rain, and so we started to feel like, okay, we're going to be okay. And then we have just recently found out that the fires kind of worked its way around the north side of the lake, and so it looked like the prevailing winds were pushing the fire north, and so that would leave us in its trail. So then we would have avoided it. But now there's been some winds from the north pushing south, and it seems like it's kind of working its way around the backside of the lake towards our camp. So less than a kilometer away, something like that. And also found out from our connections, and people that are doing the fire management there, that they can't dedicate people and resources to fight that, because they're having to do this triage and kind of go with the communities that have more houses, and we're just one camp in the wilderness. So
you said less than a kilometer away right now.
This is my take, but it's changing by the moment here. So yeah.
What's going through your mind as you hear this news?
Well, I mean, you try not to think about the long story of the camp, because like you go, we trust ourselves into the hands of a loving God, but at the same time you think about the thousands of volunteer hours that it took to build that camp, the time on the trails where fixing trailers to get product in there so we could build a camp for the kids, all the time that places have sort of lock in memory. And for many of the kids in our community who just love the camp, like all of that camp with all its quirks and its oddities, it's familiar, and so it's a safe place. So I don't want to entertain the worst case scenario, but it seems like it's in the balance right now.
How are you guys praying at ICYA, and what are you asking folks to pray?
Well, we're just praying for the winds to shift, get some south winds and push that fire north. And, so we're kind of praying for a miracle. And obviously, we've lost already some boats and trailers on the other end of the lake. So there's some loss already. But, we're just praying. And, we're just waiting with bated breath here. The staff, the summer staff, everything's teed up and positioned, but we're kind of in suspended animation. So we're just praying that the camp will be saved. I guess that's the prayer right now, and it's possible, but we need a little miracle here.
How old is the camp? When did you start the camp, Kent?
After I was married, which is my marker in time. I think something like 18 years. Wow. That the camp has been in our possession.
Yeah.
So it's not been the whole time that Inner City Youth Alive has been in existence, but a good chunk of it.
And you mentioned it being a safe place. Just maybe describe for people, why is it so important? Who are the kids going there, and why is it such a safe space for them?
Yeah, well, people think of camp, you kind of think what you mean when you say camp, but it's different for us. Because things like even 3 square meals a day, that most of the campers would just assume that's happening. But for our kids, that's a very grounding kind of effect, because many of our kids are in situations where they're just not being cared for. And so coming to camp means nurture, and it means, we do a lot of like one-on-one connections with kids, go fishing, and then they're very intentional about that at camp. And so, every camp at the end of the week, the one-on-one partner writes like a 2-page note to the kid about all that they see in that kid, and the kids always cry, and it's so beautiful to see, and to see what happens for these kids in that context. Again, something like there's things we take for granted, but like safety, for example. You can't really get anything done in your life developmentally if you don't feel safe. But so then at camp, kids feel safe. So you see a kid who comes in as a gangster, and 2 days later is a little kid,
Yeah.
and is singing during worship time. They have their hands raised, and so it's the camp is otherworldly. It's another world for the
I was
kids.
picturing like a little glimpse of the kingdom of heaven as you're talking. And one thing that struck me, it's a place where the gospel isn't just like proclaimed by word, it's proclaimed by action and deed, right? It's lived out with these kids and they're hearing their worth and their value. They're being cared for, like you mentioned. And yeah, that is what the
Mm-hmm.
good news of Jesus is, that the kingdom has arrived and the downtrodden are safe and they have a space of
Yeah,
acceptance.
yeah.
So this fire, less than a kilometer away right now, Friday morning, May 30th. If you're watching on Facebook or whatever, trying to figure out when this is, we're praying right now, and Kent, keep us in the loop here. We'll keep everybody updated, but for now, yeah, everybody pray. Anything else you need from people right now? Are there other ways we can help, or is prayer
Our
right now
needs
the
are pretty
best?
basic right now. It's prayer, and that's all we need at this moment.
Perfect, Kent. Well, we're
And that's a
praying.
lot. Yeah, thank you, Mike.